One of the things that we always wonder about, and I've always wondered about this too, you go out and get a chocolate bunny, for the tradition of Easter, right? And you're thinking this is so good for the kids. And then you take a bite out of that chocolate bunny and it's hollow.
We are certainly excited as a new family of 4 to figure out what our new Easter traditions are going to be.
Everyone makes their own. So it can be fun. It can have a wonderful religious significance, and it can also just be quirky.
Happy Easter, everyone.
And welcome to another episode of the Munch Corner. I'm Omar, one of your hosts, and this is
Savannah.
No, you have to let me do it.
Oh, okay.
And my beautiful wife, Savannah.
Okay, thank you for the
Today, she's wearing a great plaid outfit.
Today, I am comfortable.
She's very comfortable. She looks relaxed, and we're going to make sure we have a relaxed time with you.
And you're in wonderful, relaxing Easter blue.
I'm trying to be in Easter blue to match a little bit of what's going on out there.
We may or may not.
Oh.
If you are watching, not that I might try to be sneaking you over to YouTube, but if you look on the screen, you might have hidden Easter eggs everywhere. So it's practice run for the real thing, right?
For the real thing.
So we do hope you enjoy the setup. We love changing it up with different holidays and themes.
And we do have, of course, because how could you have Easter without chocolate?
We have hot chocolate today.
We have our Hotel Chocolat hot chocolate, and you have a mint chocolate, which Savannah happens to like. And I just have what I would call a nutty blend. So it's actually really good.
It's very tasty. So we can all be enjoying our chocolate together.
Yes.
We can dive right in. What do we have?
So today we're going to do something fun. So there's a lot of wonderful traditions with Easter, and there's a lot of religious significance, and there's a lot of celebrating and remembering and a few other things. But I thought it would be really fun to sort of dig into some of the more unusual, some of the hidden traditions of Easter.
Maybe we'll start something fun of our own.
Well, you know what? I'm going to always encourage ourselves as well, but our audience to make your own traditions. Have your family traditions. So we have 6 stories here that are going to be covering some of these traditions. However, I think I want to address the very, very hidden question. How did the bunnies and the eggs get introduced to Easter? So I think this is kind of a fun one.
It's a very good question because bunnies don't lay eggs.
Bunnies do not lay eggs.
I think as a kid, you never put 2 and 2 together.
No. I mean, and of course, we have like great cartoons that are out there now that actually they
Peter Rabbit being one of them.
Peter Rabbit being one of them.
Peter Rabbit fan.
Well, there's also another one that I'm trying to remember. It's an animation. And
I know Hop. That's not animation.
Oh.
That's also live action. Very well done, though.
Okay, very live action. Okay. So Easter traditions, we take a lot in the U.S. From some of our earlier kind of German ancestry that comes to the United States. And so at one time, and this you have to try to tie Easter to the time that it's in here. So one of the things I wanted to say is like, why is Easter on April 5th, right? So it depends on what time of the year it is. It's always tied around the last big full moon. And after that...
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Right.
I didn't know they based it on the moon.
What's kind of really fun about it is, I'll read this because this is from the Smithsonian. This is an interesting little tidbit in describing it. So the traditional date is to celebrate Easter is Sunday. If you had to check your calendar every year, you'd have to do it for a good reason. Easter is a movable feast. Its date changes with a few variables. In year 325, the Council of Nicaea, so this is back in the formation of the Christian Church in Rome, determined that Easter would occur the first Sunday after the first full moon following the spring equinox. So unless this happens to interfere with Passover, in which case the holiday would move to the Sunday after that. Yes, it is confusing. So every year we obviously have to look up.
It complicated.
It's not like Christmas. It's not like some of the other holidays we celebrate.
We were actually joking like a week ago. It's like, when is Easter actually?
We have to look it up. Every time we have to look it up.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
And of course, we're not really tied to the moon as much as I think, older parts of civilization were as well. So it can occur anytime between March 22nd and April 25th. So every year it's going to be a little different. So this year, April 5th, for everybody who has not looked it up, we actually did. But it also comes from its origins in our celebrations in England and in Germany of Oster, and I know I'm mispronouncing that. And this is actually the symbol that came from some of the earlier civilizations, or I should say cultures, that started looking at this time of the year. And so Easter was also very much tied. This is where the bunny comes in, and this is where you tie into the eggs. Not the bunny laying eggs. That's like totally a thing that
a different time, right? Or not a time at all.
Not a time at all. This is something we've done, I think more recently, but it was never in the origins. Yes. And then, of course, it came over through our connections to England, basically, and then Victorian England specifically, and then also some of the Dutch settlers that came to the United States and the German settlers that brought these traditions with them. So when you look at the change in springtime, traditionally, and not in our current modern day, you had to save food for the winter because you just didn't have any harvests. And so you reach this point where you were at the end of this, right? This is springtime. Again, the spring equinox, right? And this is at the end of your stores. You've gone through the winter, and now spring is coming in, and it's the first bloom that's coming through. And so the idea behind it was you would see the rabbits come back out. And in this case, we call them rabbits, but back then they were hares. And for those of you who are aficionados about our little rabbit populations out there and hares, they are different. So the hare was the first symbol of the spring coming in because they would be very active. And they were also, not surprisingly enough, a symbol of fertility. Because
oh my gosh,
breeding like rabbits,
like bunnies,
like bunnies, rabbits, right?
Yes.
And this was another part of that symbolism with the hare. So that's how it got really introduced in there. Now, where do the eggs come from?
I'd love to know.
So the eggs are an actually interesting one too. So same thing. In today's world, we can go to the grocery store and go get some eggs. It doesn't really matter. We can get them any time of the year because we have commercial farms that actually produce them. But back then, the hens weren't producing eggs during the wintertime. So the first time they would actually do that would be at this time of the year, because now the sun was out, it was warmer, and it was the time for them to start entering into essentially their breeding season. So now eggs would start being produced, and those eggs were absolutely precious because those eggs were like the first piece of really good nutrition that was fresh. And so they celebrated the bunnies and this kind of rediscovery of spring.
It takes us back to the very beginning of we celebrating nature.
Yeah, so it is
the cycle of life.
It is basically a rebirth.
Yes.
And so Easter religiously has the rebirth as well, and we have it through some of the traditions that came over. Now, from there's been so much that's come through, right? I mean, so traditions in the world, have absolutely changed.
Everyone makes their own, which is nice.
Everyone makes their own. So it can be fun. It can have a wonderful religious significance, and it can also just be quirky. So we're going to hit 6 different quirky stories that are around the world. Our first one is called the French Omelet.
Okay.
So again, the eggs have popped back in, right? So for over 40 years, Bessières, which is in southern France, has followed a tradition of making a gigantic 15,000 egg omelet.
Wow.
So, in the center of their town. And we'll put up a picture of this so everyone can kind of see it. It's amazing. I'll just
sort of... You have it over there? I'd love to see. Whoa. Okay.
So this is a giant...
No eggshells in there, right? I cannot stand
I'm sure
eggshell in an omelet.
I'm sure they're not going to find any eggshells. So in their town, they celebrate Easter by having this massive omelet. Everyone watches the omelet come through. And a giant fire is stoked in the preparation, and you get 50 volunteers to crack eggs in preparation of the feast. The local chefs come together, and they cook an omelet, which is shared among the 10,000 strong spectators who gather every year for this extravaganza.
Oh, yeah, no, that's so sweet.
So, I mean, it's like, this is a fun one. It's like, I would want to go to this small village just to experience.
I want to see that omelet. I don't have to eat it. I just like to see it.
I want to eat it too. I mean, it's like, why not? It's an omelet. It's made by chefs.
No, it's for the locals.
It's for but still, I mean, to me, seeing these traditions around the world. So this is a really funny one, and I absolutely love the fact that they did this. There are other ones that are a little bit unusual, but also very sweet in many ways.
You think someone's going to try to break that record now? Don't take me up on the challenge.
I don't know if there's a Guinness World Record for that.
There's a Guinness World Record for everything. I cannot believe sometimes.
Now you're going to make me want to go look it up because I don't know if the 15,000 eggs is enough to meet that requirement.
Well, we have to look after.
Imagine how big that pan is. And who's scrubbing it at the end, by the way? You have to crawl into the pan to scrub it clean.
Are you really doing it in a pan, or are you just?
Yeah, no, it's really in a pan.
Oh wow,
it's an omelet, so I'm sure it'd be great. So this is a fun one to try. So here's the next one. And I retitled this slightly differently. It comes from a source called EF, which is, I think, Education Tours. But they take young adults around the world and have tours different places, and so you can see culture. So this is called the Easter Pretzel. So why not have pretzels as part of an Easter tradition, right? So this is for Luxembourg. So this is another part of the world. And I'm going to mispronounce it, but I'll violently try. Bretzeldonen.
Well, I'm curious. I want to see. I want to see.
It's the top line.
Top line. Pretzelzonen. Zonenden. Okay.
Zonenden. Okay. So okay, we are. I'm going to apologize to everybody from Luxembourg and obviously the Germanic languages for mispronouncing it, but it's called Pretzel Sunday. So on the third day of Lent, so this precedes Easter, in Luxembourg, pretzels are actually sweet puff pastries. So they're not like I think what we think of pretzels, salty and chewy, or if you go to a ball game, you have to add mustard to it. So it's not like that. So these are much more sweet pastries. And they have icing and almonds and everything else. Really, I mean, they look absolutely tasty.
Sounds like my type of treat.
Yeah, and I think we have to maybe go to Luxembourg just to have one of these, obviously.
We'll add it to the list of the other 100 countries we'd love to visit.
So according to the author here, it says, if we're up to me, every Sunday should be Pretzel Sunday. So I would have to agree with it, especially with treats that are like this. So back to the tradition. Guys give the girls that they fancy the pretzel on that said Sunday. If she accepts the treat, the guy is allowed to visit the girl on Easter Sunday and will get an egg in return.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's adorable. So, but here's one little twist to it, which I thought was absolutely.
It's like a Valentine thing.
It's almost like a Valentine's Day. You're sweet on somebody and you give them a pretzel, and if they take the pretzel, then you can go back and see.
Type of
it's a
very
courtship.
quiet mating thing as well, without the mating part. Just literally just accepting a partner.
You had to do that. You had to bring it back to the rabbits again.
Sorry, it's so natural with Easter, right?
Yeah, it is. And so here's one little twist, which I thought was absolutely amusing. If all of this happens on a leap year, the roles are reversed, and the girls hand out the pretzels.
Oh, that's nice. I like that it's reversed. Because
so it's like
people always say,
world.
Yes, that the guys need to like kind of make the first move. And I like that.
Yeah.
So it's a nice way to kind of.
But it's a fun little tradition. And it certainly would be, I mean, I think
adorable.
It's adorable. So it's hard to say that you wouldn't want to look at something like that and just enjoy it. Okay. Ready for the next one?
I don't know. Should I wait before or after I take a sip?
Take a sip.
Okay.
So while you're taking a sip.
No,
we're not going to catch Savannah off guard because that
the amount of times Omar waits until I drink something. We were in Scotland once and we were looking at the castle. It was super cold, so we stopped inside to get some hot chocolate. And he made a terrible joke at the time, which I then sprouted hot chocolate out of my nose. So I was not very pleased.
Yeah, no, she was not very happy with it, but she was laughing anyway. So it turned out
never
pretty well.
Ever make a joke while someone's drinking something. Just FYI.
Or if you plan it perfectly,
sure.
Say with kind of a deadpan thing. So this is a weird tradition, and it's actually more recent, and it goes to our friends in Norway. So
okay, Norwegians, all right.
Yeah, so this is the Easter murder mystery.
Oh.
So they apparently, for some reason, love true crime. That's right up your alley with your mom. So
sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't mean to put you out there.
No, it's okay. So they said, we're not talking about biting the ears off of innocent chocolate bunnies and crackling beautiful decorated eggs. That's not the kind of crime we're talking about.
Okay, that's good.
We're talking about, and I'm not going to even try to say this word because it's a Norwegian tradition of reading, watching, and listening to crime stories, detective thrillers during the Easter holidays. The whole country seems to be in suspense, waiting for publishers, radio and TV stations to produce murder mysteries. And even milk companies contribute to printing them on cartons.
That's bizarre. That is so bizarre. We're talking about Easter eggs and bunnies, and you're talking about crime.
Yes, true crime, right? So again, traditions.
To their own.
So the roots of this can be traced back to 1923 when two Norwegian authors, Nordhal Grieg and Niels Lai, devised a clever marketing stunt to promote their new crime novel. The book, which was titled, and I'll take the translation rather than the Norwegian version, their Bergen train was robbed last night. That's the title of the book. Was heavily advertised in newspapers with the headline appearing so convincingly like it was a real news story, and reported to many readers they believed the train robbery had actually taken place. The campaign was such a massive success that the book became a bestseller. So, but unintentionally, the publicity stunt sparked a nationwide appetite for crime fiction during Easter, and publishers quickly capitalized on the trend. So over the years, the tradition solidified, and now every Easter bookstores in Norway are filled with new crime releases, television channels schedule crime dramas, and even milk cartons feature mini crime stories for people to solve over breakfast.
You know what this tells us? You could be on the very edge of a breakthrough of having a tradition 100 years later. Any of us can make this possible.
Oh, I love that. That's you start something today and you never know where it'll land.
Hey, I mean, you could make your big break, but I did not expect that one.
No, I didn't expect it either. So when I researched that, I thought, yeah, we have to talk about this one. So this one comes from.
I'd love to see those milk cartons a little bit more closer. Maybe we'll put some up on screen.
No, we actually will. I think it'll be really fun to see them. But they look like, I mean, they honestly look like a cartoon, right? Or not cartoon, but like a comic book. So, and they do that. There's some other history to the tradition too, which is very interesting. And that is, if you understand, obviously, Norwegian winters and you're in the northern areas, there's a lot of indoor time that happens until you get to spring. And so they're very keen on doing things that would be around a fireplace, whether you're with friends.
And crime is almost like a ghost story, right?
Pretty much.
But different.
So this one was a fun one to see because it's so way out there. I would have never even tied the two together.
You know what? I appreciate every single tradition, even though I might not understand it or do it myself. I find it so special that everyone finds their own way to celebrate what they believe in. Because, I mean, we look at Easter a little bit differently than most. So, yeah, definitely enjoy your traditions.
Well, I think it's going to be fun. And I think at the end, I want to talk a little bit about your traditions in South Africa for Easter as well. So the next one also goes out in a very strange direction. And this one's called the clay pots. So this is a tradition that comes from Greece and specifically the island of Corfu. So watch out for flying pottery on the Greek island of Corfu.
Flying pottery?
Flying pottery. On Easter Sunday or Saturday at 11 a.m. sharp, the residents of Corfu throw clay pots of all sizes from the balconies. The tradition dates back to the 16th century, when people threw out all their useless old belongings out of their window to get ready for the new year.
Who's cleaning that up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Don't get practical on us here.
Oh, okay.
The breaking pots scare away the evil spirits and mark a new beginning. So it's still part of that rebirth, of the spring and a new start and everything else. And the Greeks decide they want to do it through throwing pottery. So something I would have never, example, here's they sit
Is that why you kind of said, what did you say, 11 a.m. sharp?
It's 11 a.m. sharp.
Intended?
Well,
pottery being sharp and being thrown.
No, but that's a good point.
Yes.
But if you are going there and you happen to be there, the Saturday before Easter.
Can you imagine the surprise?
Do not go out there in the streets at 11 o'clock if everyone's throwing their pottery over to shatter.
If you have no idea why this happens, can you just imagine how this would throw you off? Thinking, oh my gosh, these people throwing pottery at me. What's going on? Everyone's gone nuts.
Everyone's gone nuts. But it's, again, another really fun thing that is very unique to a culture, in this case, Greece. So
that's the tradition?
That is the tradition.
Greece, just throwing pottery?
Well, yeah. I mean, they do celebrate. They're part of usually the Orthodox church itself. So they have their religious celebrations on Sunday. But on Saturday, at 11 o'clock.
All right.
This is the big thing.
I guess I'm learning a lot more today than what I thought.
Well, this is what makes it interesting. These are some of the hidden traditions in Easter. So that's a fun one. Now, we're going to go back to something else that ties into something we are very close to, but we don't know its origins. And this goes to our friends in Germany and Switzerland. So for their traditions, this one's called the hidden Easter nests. So what they do, again, you have to go back to the traditions that are Germanic, that have this rebirth and the eggs and the chickens and, essentially, the birds going through and having their nests and everything else. So the idea behind it is when you're having kind of this renewal, then the good kids, so think of it like Christmas a little bit.
Yes.
They will go out and try to find these eggs. And so essentially this is a renewal of spring. And if they find these eggs, then they are, kind of like blessed little children, if you want to call them that. So who doesn't like searching for a house filled or a yard filled with baskets with chocolate? So in Germany and Switzerland and many other countries that matter, Easter nests are hidden for kids and some grown-ups, of course, as well. The nests are actually decorated baskets or boxes that are filled with chocolate bunnies, chocolate eggs, and before, early on, it was real eggs, and the real eggs would be, again, decorated in the sense that you can find them, but they're going to be hidden around a little bit. And they're meant to be there as part of this tradition of going out into the fields in spring. And so this is back to this connection to renewal. Now, we've taken the idea of the nests and we have Easter baskets, which are now the modern representation of what these nests were. And these nests were very elaborate back then. And they were put together, obviously, by parents for their children.
So would everything be in one big nest?
It would be several nests, different places.
Several nests.
So you'd have to go and find them. And so it was part of creating the tradition that we now have the Easter egg hunt. And so it ties back again to some of these roots.
Oh, that's so fun. I would love to see the baskets, the nests back then. Sorry, I'm thinking of a basket.
You can see a little one.
Oh, it's adorable. They actually make it like blend in, like it's part of nature.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a nest. So, obviously our modern traditions now take us to wanting to have Easter baskets. And instead of having eggs, we tend to have usually like plastic eggs filled with chocolate and things like that, or treats. So we've evolved a little bit further into it. They joked around in this article, this is also from EF, about the idea. It's like, if you didn't get the egg, you didn't find it, but you found it like a month later, it wouldn't be so good. But the chocolate is a lot better to find and all that too. So the idea behind this, I think, is one of those older traditions that now is carried forward.
Definitely the one I am more familiar with.
Yes, I think so. So I do want to leave before we actually tap into your stories that you've seen, and I'll share one from my side as well, which is a little internal family tradition with my dad and my mom. But one of the things that we always wonder about, and I've always wondered about this too, you go out and get a chocolate bunny, for the tradition of Easter, right? And you're thinking this is so good for the kids. And then you take a bite out of that chocolate bunny, and it's hollow. It's not solid anymore. And what gives? You're buying this bunny wrapped in foil. You think it's going to be the best thing in the world. And when you bite into it, it's like there's nothing inside. Mm-hmm. It's just a hollow shell. So hollow chocolate bunnies, like most of the ones around Easter, considering they're an underwhelming amount of chocolate compared to their solid counterparts. It's like you feel like you're kind of missing out. It's a very, very interesting story behind this. And I thought I'd bring it in because obviously we do have chocolate eggs and chocolate bunnies. And there's a plethora of things that are out there that are for kids. But in 1939, chocolate manufacturers wanted to make a way to make chocolate bunnies that could be large and decorative and still be easy to eat. You'll have no problem biting into a thin, hollow chocolate bunny. Bigger chunks of chocolate could be tough on the chompers. So this is for the kids, right? Mm-hmm. So making hollow bunnies was, again, a manufacturer's way of trying to get more products out there. They could have it with less chocolate.
And then trying to turn around and say, but it's better for the consumer.
But it's better for the consumer. Uh-huh. So it sort of now is entered into our everyday from 1939. And mind you, remember we had our Christmas episode where we talked about the jolly old Santa came from actually Coca-Cola's advertising. Yeah. Or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was also, again, a Montgomery Ward kind of promotion itself, and now it's entered into essentially the American, but also carried over to other places as well. So this is really, to me, fun. What's the story behind the hollow bunny?
Another alternative, though, which Omar has gotten for us this Easter, our son, is this gigantuous egg.
It's like an ostrich egg size. So
yes, so I'm pretty sure it's quite a thick shell. But inside, it's not hollow, everyone. It's actually filled with other chocolates and bunnies and all these prizes, which he's absolutely going to love.
Oh, he's going to enjoy this. This is his first year where I think we're going to see Ryland's going to be able to
actually running around, picking things up.
Yes, I mean, for him, he brings us stuff all the time from the garden and everything else. So imagine him hunting for these and finding them. It's going to be fun to lay something out for him to go and find.
So I know we've definitely probably changed it a lot more so for the kids and not really adults, because you kind of tweak it towards what the kids enjoy. And me as a kid in South Africa, we would sometimes actually celebrate Easter after Easter is actually over.
Ah, okay.
And again, the Easter hunt. But my favorite thing to do was getting my youngest brother, because we were still the only two in the house at the time. I would go out, buy him a few things, chocolate related, but also not chocolate related, like toys as well. Huh. And I would actually go and hide these things all around the garden. So as an older sister to a younger brother, the joy that I found, especially being older, was watching his face when he found something. When he finally went. And I was very strict at the time, and I had a rule that we had to find everything and put it in this basket, which it actually wasn't a basket. We literally just got, it might have been just like a plastic bag, like a normal grocery bag, or one of the paper bags, nothing fancy. And I'd say, but you have to find everything first. So in my mind, I'd try to remember the number. Right. And there would be times that we wouldn't find them.
Until much later.
Until probably later than we should. And only after you got everything, we could sit together and we could unpack everything and kind of see what we have. And I love that because that would span like a good hour or two. Obviously, he got much faster the older he got. So
more efficient.
More efficient. Because then he'd start running, and then he'd really learn what the good places are. And my challenge would be, where can I hide it? That's
even further, yeah.
Exactly. So for me, that was my Easter joy, just because as an older sibling, you kind of outgrow looking for it yourself, and at that point your parents just give you this, or they tell you go pick something out.
The hollow bunny.
Yeah, the hollow bunny. And you know what my favorite thing was? Very tiny eggs. It was a mixture of different solid fillings. So one would have just like a solid milk chocolate, then one would have the crunchy cereal inside, and the other one would have
that's going to be kind of fun.
Dark chocolate, things like that.
And now there's such a plethora out there. And then we've associated even one more thing, like jelly beans, which you wouldn't ordinarily think, how does that tie into anything else? But then,
is that an American thing?
Yeah, like Hop Easter? Would have that, right? I mean, as an animation.
Yes.
So.
I guess I never really did that for Easter.
No, because I think that's very much more American, in general. But there's always going to be massive Easter egg hunts. I think there's some that are, there's like large parks that are hosted to have those. But again, they're plastic eggs, I think, at this point.
Something I would love to do, though, is decorating real eggs. I've never done that before. That would be great to do.
That's a lot of fun. My mom did that with us, my sister and I. We lived in different places in the world, and so we didn't necessarily have access to some of the things you would normally expect to see in Europe or in the U.S. But my mom always made it really fun for us in the house. So our Easter egg hunts were mostly there, but she also had us also decorate live eggs. So they're hard boiled, and then you ended up putting the color on them. And my sister and I would spend hours doing that. And then you have to go and find them, right? And then we would have our little prizes, usually through candy.
Is there a way that we are able to save a live egg that we've decorated? I know some people make a hole to try actually get the innards of the egg out, and then you're actually decorating the hard shell. But I'd love to find a way that we can actually solidify it more with like a spray or a fix or something that we can actually keep it for the kids. Say, this is your first egg that you decorated.
I think
I
that
know
would
people
be,
just go and buy fake ones and then you just decorate that. But
well, I mean, so one of the things we did last year, and this is before Ryland could really, I think, understand a little more of what it meant, or even smile at it, and because he was so young. So I found these eggs that had like little beads on the inside, so you could shake them.
He still plays with it
to this day. He still plays with those things.
It's like little shakers.
It's like little shakers. I mean,
and one's like a ladybug, and the other one has stripes on it.
Right,
one's a bumblebee.
Yes.
It's very cute.
And so we thought those would be for us for Easter with him, but they're not like year round. That he wants to have. Every so often when he finds one, you can see he's really happy and starts walking around holding. It's like the perfect size for his little hand.
It is amazing to watch life through our kids' eyes.
Yes.
And I can definitely see why that's a driver for certain traditions to become much bigger than others. And we are certainly excited as a new family of 4 to figure out what our new Easter traditions are going to be. And our son is now going to make sure that we step up to the plate every single year and make it happen.
I think, and then of course, fortunately or unfortunately, the example has been set for our daughter as well. So she's going to be probably looking
would not
for
want
exactly.
To expect less.
So I will share one story that you talked about what you're doing for your younger brother. So years and years of obviously having my parents do this, and they would do it for the joy of, for us really more than anything else. It was a way to appreciate the tradition in the spring and everything else that came with it. Later on in life, I thought it would be fun if I hosted an egg hunt for them. So I turned the tables on them. And I would find those, and my dad was quite a bit older about then, and so for him, it was so funny to watch them turn into kids again, and I would hide them within the house. So it was like we picked a room.
That's special.
Yeah, and then they'd each get their own little basket of how they're.
And they never saw it coming.
No. That's the whole thing. And we ended up doing it for several years because it was really fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
But here was the funny part. It was like watching the way they each hunted for eggs. My dad was very methodical. He would walk and then walk. My mom would sprint from place to place. But more often than not, and it was like you could never figure out who was going to win, right, between the two of them.
Mm.
But more often than not, my mom would skip eggs that my dad would find because she was going so fast.
He would walk gracefully.
He would walk and pick them up, and then she would race around. But because she was going so fast, she would miss so many of the eggs that she'd go right over. And my dad would walk over and pick those up.
The graceful claiming of them eggs.
Yes. And so, I mean, in the end, it was just meant for us to be fun, and we all laughed. And it was fun to hide them and things like that. Occasionally, we did find an egg that was months later. Forgotten.
Well, you know what? On that note, I think maybe turn the tables on your elders.
Oh, yeah, I love this idea. It's a good idea.
There's enough time that you can pick up a few chocolates or whatever you think they're going to like and surprise them. If you have family coming over to a certain house and say, okay, well, I guess the kids are going to hang back this time around because you guys are going to go and get it. Everyone can have their hunt. And you know what? To be a child again, sometimes our son really reminds you of what it is to be a child again.
It's priceless.
With
absolutely priceless.
No thought, no stress, no worry in the world. Do it for your loved ones because I absolutely think that is a fun tradition to drive forward.
So I think we would encourage you to find new ways to create your own traditions. And I think, honestly, look at some of the other ones in the world. Now, I only picked 6. There were many, many more
Those
that
are
were
fun
out
ones,
there.
though.
And there's some from every place in the world that has their own form of little traditions that they will embrace and move forward with. Create your own. Make your own little Easter traditions. Mix them in with laughter and memories. Mix them in with family and friends. And don't forget to be children in this whole process, because the delight of a new beginning, a new spring, with all the components that come with it, every part of it, is absolutely beautiful.
It is. It's a wonderful time of the year. And again, we're absolutely grateful we could share this one with you as well. And we will bring you some more interesting things in the future. But happy Easter. Happy
Easter. And if you like and subscribe, we would absolutely appreciate that. And if you have some traditional stories that you want to share that you think might be kind of fun for the rest of the audience to hear, please share. We'll put up some of these pictures and things like that too. Yes. But we would love to hear from you as always.
All right. Until next time, everyone.
Until next time.
Bye.